All right, hello everybody. We're going to, of course, wait a few minutes, give people a chance to get in. I hope everybody had a good week thus far. We're now Wednesday, Hump Day, so we're gonna wait a few minutes. Let's see. On the Mesa, where the cowboys roam, everyone wants to live by the code of the West. On the Mesa. Josie and the Pussycat. When you walk around in circles, walk around in circles, walk around. I know you want to walk around in circles, walk around in circles. In, in a shadeless town, I need to feel the touch of a friend. In the countryside, I wander far and wide. Isolation gets me again. I don't know where to go when I'm like crying. Oh my, time to open myself, do something new. I want to stop and grow up a bit. Then suddenly my intuition and my wisdom grow. And then I know that most of all compassionately, strangers wherever they go. Thank you for waking me up. Everybody wants to be a master. Everybody wants to show their skills. Everybody wants to get there faster, make their way to the top of the hill. Each time you try, gonna get a little bit better. Each step you climb, one more step up the ladder. It's a whole new world we live in. It's a whole new place to see. It's a whole new way with a brand new attitude, but you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. It's a whole new world we live in, but you still gotta catch 'em all. Be the best that you can be. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Spider-Man. Hello, we got a second person in here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good week thus far. And I do thank you for the like and the share. Hopefully you're doing well. We're just waiting to see. And then they left again. I'm just waiting on more people to come in. Let me see now. What else? Brave star, brave star, brave star, brave star. Eyes of the hawk, ears of the wolf. Brave star, brave star. Strength of the bear, speed of the puma. Thunder, 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 thundercats. Ho! Hear the magic, feel the roar. Thundercats are loose. Thunder, 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 thundercats. Thunder, 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 thundercats. Meow, 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 down, 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 down. Partly metal, partly real. Silver hawks going through the highways of the heavens in their lives. Silver hawks, the strangers in the night. Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever living. Moon Shining star of limbo, give me the might, the muscle, the menace of monster. Ah. Get along, gang, get along, gang. Each one is so special in their own way. When you know, get along, gang, get along, gang. Get up with the get along, gang. You are going away. Get up with the get along, gang. Oh, get up. We'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. G.I. Joe is there. Over land, sea, and air. G.I. Joe is there. Do 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 do. Transformers, robots in disguise. Autobots rage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers, robots in disguise. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers. Let's see now. Hong Kong Fooey, number one super guy. Hong Kong Fooey, quicker than the human eye. Hong Kong Fooey, that's terrific. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time. From the town of Bedrock, there's a place right out of history. That's right, with the family down the street, Rudolph, courtesy of heading off, courtesy of Frizzle Heap. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time, a yabba do time. We'll have a gay old time. Meet George Jetson. Okay. So we're at the 8-minute mark now. So I think I've given people enough time. Here's what's on tap for tonight, everybody. We got 10 stories we're going to go over. 8 articles, all from CBR. We'll do a couple wrestling wrap ups with WWE and AEW. Let's see. So DC, we got quite a bit of DC stuff coming out on this edition, where we're talking about their round robin tournament for new titles have reached the final 4 titles. Batman is getting a new creative team direction and schedule in Detective Comics. And also, American Vampire co-creator shares their concept art for the new Batman series. Also going to talk about a new graphic novel comic series coming out from Simon and Schuster and AWA Studios. Charlemagne the God. And we're also going to look at Terry Moore offering up his entire library at a bargain price for charity. Also, on the anime side of it, we're going to be talking about, we'll be looking at how to get into Future Diary, as well as why Magical Girl anime are so hard to market, as well as looking at some of the longest running anime series. As I said, we also have the wrestling wrap ups, as it were, as well. So, with that, I think we'll probably be getting started here in a moment. With that, let's see now. All right, there we go with that. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get started here. Hopefully, people will show up soon. DC's round robin tournament reveals its final four titles. DC reveals the four finalists of its 2022 round robin tournament with the third round of voting set to begin in 1 week. Article by Noah Dominguez, published 22 hours ago. Guess that looked kind of like an old Bruce Wayne right there with Etrigan. Well, that could be Jason Blood for all we know. Anyway, so here we go. DC has revealed the updated bracket for its 2022 round robin tournament heading into round three. The final four titles of this year's round robin tournament are Constantine and the Demon. So that's probably Constantine then was up there. Vacation from Hell by Frank Allen and Nick Varela. Suicide Squad Dark by Zach Thompson and Gary Brown. Green Lantern, The Light at the End of Forever by Cy Spurrier and Marco Santucci. And Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow by Kenny Porter and Johnoy Lindsay. And here's, I guess, what the bracket actually looks like here. So I guess you're going to have Constantine and the Demon Vacation from Hell going up straight up against Suicide Squad Dark and Green Lantern Light at the End of Tomorrow and Superboy Hero Tomorrow, Man of Tomorrow, whatever. So Superboy having to battle Green Lantern twice in a row here. That's a very interesting scenario. So continuing on here. In round three, Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell, will go up against Suicide Squad Dark, while Green Lantern, The Light at the End of Forever, will go up against Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow. Voting for round three is set to kick off on Tuesday, April 19th. So 1 week, actually a little under a week now, it's like 6 days from now, at 9 a.m. Pacific on Twitter, Instagram, and DC Community. According to DC, quote, fans will have the opportunity to read one colored and lettered page from each of the four stories as they cast their votes, unquote. All right. Let's see. Arcane. Let's see. So I guess this one's from Constantine and the Demon Vacation from Hell. Let's see what this one is going to say. Arcane Guile meets Hellish Fury. John Constantine is forced to play host to Etrigan the Demon, and the pair embark on a deeply personal and potentially apocalyptic mission. Journeying back home to Liverpool, Constantine must confront ghosts from his past, and Etrigan isn't exactly his first choice for an ally. Oh, yeah, this is a synopsis of that one. Ooh. Hey, this is the synopsis from, I guess, Suicide Squad Dark. A team of occult misfits and monsters, assembled by Amanda Waller and led by Vampire Batman, are forced into a mind melting suicide mission to assassinate Earth 13's League of Shadows. Okay. And then here's, I guess, Green Lantern, light at the end of forever. A dark, far future, a galaxy gripped by tyranny. When an elderly farmer in a backwater system is brutalized by the latest thugs with jetpacks and jackboots to call themselves lawmen. He remembers a forgotten past, an era of champions, a cadre of noble peacekeepers, long since vanished. His name, he's sure of it, is John Stewart. Whatever happened to the Green Lantern Corps, and is it too late to reignite the light? In brightest day, in blackest night, No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. All right, so here we go. Here's the next one here. Let's see. This description from the Superboy book. Determined to find his place in a strange universe, Connor Kent Superboy leaves Earth behind, but his journey of self-discovery brings him face to face with a group of freedom fighters who challenge not just everything Connor stands for, but what it means to bear the Superman crest. According to the updated bracket, Vacation from Hell advanced to the Final Four by defeating Hawkman and Hawkwoman, the Changeling, 61% to 39%. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad, Dark, advanced by defeating Kid Flash, the Speed of Fear, 59 to 41%. On the other side of the bracket, The Light at the End of Forever advanced by defeating DC Horror, Ghost Horror from Hell, 7% to 33%, while The Man of Tomorrow advanced by defeating Green Lantern, The Birth of Conspiracy, 55 to 45. According to DC, these percentages account for the votes across all three platforms: Twitter, Instagram, DC Community. Right. DC launched its 2022 round robin tournament in late March. The tournament allows comic book fans to vote for potential titles. The title that ultimately wins will debut as a digital first series on DC Universe Infinite in September, before arriving in print on Comixology in October. That said, DC Global Publishing Initiative senior editor Katie Kubert has stated that even the pitches that don't win have a chance of being published in the future. Quote, there are some things that I can't say quite yet because they have not been announced. But there's other things where it's like, okay, so these pitches didn't advance, but we value them. We think they're amazing, unquote. Kubert told Comics FYI earlier this month, quote, so now we have to figure out where they go, unquote. Yeah, some of those titles I'm thinking they probably they want to have a flurry of stuff to like put out there. So the third round of voting for DC's 2022 round robin tournament begins April 19th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So there we go. I'll be this coming Tuesday, a week from yesterday. So let me see, going back. Hey, Toys. Here was working on my wife's car. All right, well, thanks for dropping in, my friend. Hopefully you're having a good week thus far. Um, and thank you for the like and share. Um, so, so I'll continue on with the next article. And as always, if anything here catches your interest, feel free to comment and ask about it. And if it's a question, I'll try to answer it the best I can. If or just comment on something if you find something interesting. All right, so here we go. Here we go to the next article then. Yeah, and I'm reading 5 comic articles. I just got through the first of the 5. 3 anime articles, and we're going to do a wrestling wrap up afterwards as well. So, just give you a heads up there. Batman gets a new creative team, direction, and schedule in Detective Comics. DC announces a brand new creative team for Detective Comics as writer Ram V and artist Rafael Albuquerque take Batman on an operatic adventure. An operatic adventure, huh? Article by Brad Lang, published in 11 hours ago. Wow, look at that mask. Sheesh. DC announced that Ram V and Raphael Albuquerque are taking over as the creative team behind Detective Comics. As of issue number 1062, V and Albuquerque's Batman story will see the Cape Crusader embark on a quote high gothic story like nothing he's seen or heard before, unquote. Starting with quote Gotham Nocturne, unquote, part 1 of 4, Overture. Um, the Cape Crusader city is seemingly playing host to a quiet invasion of demons. Oh, goody! That's got to be fun to deal with. Who have been lured out of the shadows by a strange melody. Beyond the growing darkness, the haunting song is seemingly having an effect on Gotham's citizens, transforming them into something sinister. Oh boy, a whole town being taken over by evil. Ha 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 ha! Ah, while Bruce Wayne contends with this new threat, he must also confront a looming dread that begins to overwhelm his senses, causing him to fear his inner demons and his own looming mortality. V and Albuquerque will be joined by backup story writer Cy Spurrier, who will be exploring other parts of Gotham City, starting with Jim Gordon's return to private investigating. The new team will be taking the reins from writers Mariko Tamaki and Nadia Shamas, artist Ivan Reis, and Danny Miki, backup writer Sina Grace, and backup artist David Lapham. Hmm. Quote, it's a thrill to be writing a title with the kind of history and pedigree that Detective Comics has, unquote, said V. Quote, when the opportunity first came across my desk, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. For me, the draw of Batman as a character and that of the world around him had always been this blanket of tragedy that lay above it all. So, with that perspective, in smaller quotes, Gotham Nocturne rather, is a quintessentially Batman story told with aesthetics of a Gothic opera. Quote, I'm lucky to be working with a fantastic group of creatives and editors on the project, unquote, continued D. Quote, it is hard to envision a more perfect set of collaborators than Raphael Albuquerque and Dave Stewart. Of course, I don't believe this is the major league pitcher, Dave Stewart. I believe this is another guy by the name of Dave Stewart, artist. Both of them are already titans in their own right, but I think they are great fits, particularly for the aesthetic lens of the story. I cannot wait for readers to experience what we're creating. It is an ambitious story, one that is hopefully worthy of the title that puts the DC in DC, Detective Comics, yeah. V is also currently writing Aquaman Andromeda, a miniseries that will put a horror themed twist on the titular hero. Oh, there we go. Then here's some on the on our right would be his left side of the head. Look at that. Looks like he's got a devil's horn there, demon's horn. There's some variant covers as well. Let's see. Albuquerque discussed his excitement about joining Detective Comics, noting that V's take on Batman is a fresh spin on the classic character. Quote, Batman is a legend we all grew up with, and most of us spent a lot of time just imagining what we would do if we were in this position, unquote, said Albuquerque. Quote, that's how serious Batman is to me. And I have been lucky enough to do a little bit of it over my time as an artist. Ram V brings something special to the table. Unique Ram story not only matches my vision of this beloved character, also twists it, elevating it to another level, making me want to be a part of this special new take. And I think it's going to be as special to the fans as it's been for me, unquote. Before I read the last two there, let me just see if there's anything new. Nope, nothing new there. Detective Comics number 1062 will feature a main cover drawn by Evan Cagle and variant covers by Lee Bermejo and J.H. Williams III, a 125th variant cover by Inuk Lee, and a 150th foil variant by J.H. Williams will also be available. Artist Yvonne Reyes will return to the book in issue 1066 to further explore Gotham's shadowy corners. Detective Comics 1062 goes on sale on July 26th from DC. The publisher also confirmed that Detective Comics will return to a monthly schedule starting from issue 1062. All right. There we go with that one. Before I got to step away from the computer for a moment before we get to the next story here. Let's see. I'll be right back. I'll be. I'm back. With that, let's continue on with the articles here. Next one here. DC shares American Vampire co-creators Batman Talia Detective Comics concept art. Raphael Albuquerque shares a glimpse of his Batman and Talia al Ghul um, following the announcement that he and Ram V would join DC's Detective Comics. Article by Jeremy Bunn, published 9 hours ago. There we go. Raphael Albuquerque, co-creator of American Vampire, shared his black and white designs for Batman and Talia al Ghul as part of the announcement that he would join the new creative team for Detective Comics alongside writer Ram V. Albuquerque's Batman features the character's classic costume, while his Talia wields twin blades and is clad in the same white corset that she wears in quote unquote Shadow War, the current crossover storyline embroiling Batman, Deathstroke Inc., and Robin. Thus far, events in Shadow War have pitted Talia against Deathstroke, as Talia believes the mercenary killed her father, Ra's al Ghul. Talia and Batman have also come together in their desire to bring Deathstroke to justice, reigniting the flames of their once passionate romance. Now, remember, in some canon, of course, these are the parents of Damian Wayne. That's Talia, you know. All right, I gotta go take care of Chloe. I'll be right back again, guys. I gotta go get Chloe. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. what happens when you gotta go take care of your dog, right? You have a dog. Um, anyways, getting back to the article here. Albuquerque and the storyline starts in Detective Comics number 1062. In the first story arc, um, Gotham Nocturne, Batman must face a demonic invasion spurred onward by a haunting song that transforms Gotham citizens into something terrible. According to V, Gotham Nocturne. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right. So, anyways, getting back to this. Let's see. All right. According to V, Gotham Nocturne has horror vibes, but is still a quintessentially Batman story told with the aesthetics of a Gothic opera. Quote, Batman is a legend we all grew up with, and most of us spent a lot of time just imagining what we would do if we're in this position. Unquote. And again, a lot of these quotes are kind of read them in the other article too. That's how serious Batman is to me, and I have been lucky enough to do a little bit of it over my time as an artist. Ram V brings something special to the table, unique Ram story. All right, so we won't read the rest of that because we already read that quote in the other story as well. Accompanying Albuquerque and V's Detective Comics story are backup tales written by Cy Spurrier that shine a light on other characters in Gotham City, including former Commissioner Jim Gordon's new life as a private investigator. The new Batman, the new Detective Comics story is far from Albuquerque's first experience illustrating Gotham City. He previously worked as an artist on a number of DC works, including All Star Batman, alongside writer Scott Snyder, and Batgirl with writer Hope Larson. Albuquerque um, also penciled variant covers for Detective Comics number 934 to 967 and 969 to 981. Though he did not produce any interior illustrations for the issues. Detective Comics number 1062 goes on sale July 26th from DC. Right, so there we go with that one. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah. Laugh out loud indeed. All right. So, anyways, now getting ready to move on to the next article, and we got 3 people here. Hello. Hope you're having a good week thus far. We'll continue on with the articles here. Okay, so here's the next comics article we're going to look at here. Charlemagne the God launches new graphic novel and comic series. Charlemagne the God is teaming up with Kevin Graveau, Ken Lashley. Oh, okay. I guess Charlemagne the God is the guy's name. Ken Lashley, AWA Studios, and Simon Schuster to launch a new novels and comic series. Article by Brandon Schur, published 8 hours ago. Radio host, TV personality, and best-selling author Leonard Charlemagne the God McKelvey announced his plans to expand his media empire by developing new lines of graphic novels and comic books series with AWA Studios, Simon & Schuster, and more. Now, mind you, when I first saw the Charlemagne the God thing there, I thought that was actually the name of a comic book character, not an author. So, excuse me one more. I gotta step away from the computer one more time. Sorry about this, guys. Hey, I'll come back and read your comment in a moment here. Gotta step away from the computer for another moment here. Right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Because there were a few comments that came in there while I was away, so let's go ahead and go through them real quick before I get back to the primarily stuff. Let's see. Up, Pro Daddies. I'm slowly getting better from this nasty cold. I'll be here on Friday for sure. All right, thanks for letting me know. Back up, and we'll have some fun. We go over Fiction House and David McKay stuff on Friday because, of course, the Fiction House stuff, you know, Jumbo Comics number 5, in which we'll probably be reading, of course, Sheena and Gilda Gay and Dr. Hayward and all that. ABG, Yo Toys, hello, Goat, Woody, Hi Toys. Had to stay on RJ's show for a while. Rusty Gilligan has some amazing. Yeah, I just popped in there a couple of times there, Woody. Hey, Woody. I think I'm well enough that I will go see both grandsons this weekend. Let's see. That should be good for you. Loud sweet. I have been in the house for a week and a half, and with this bleep, I'm going crazy. Yeah, I gotta know the feeling, Bat Goat. You get a little stir crazy after a while. Um, is it the coof? Let's see. What he's asking, is it the coof or more ancient and well-known curse? Two at once? Um, are their young cousins close together? No, just a super cough. I've heard people say that we are immunosuppressed from all the COVID overreaction BS. Um, or maybe we all just usually get a really bad cold every few years. I actually had to kind of have to agree with that with Woody on that one because yeah, there are times I've gone years without being sick, and then like usually 1 year every few years, it's like you get that one bad cold or bad flu or whatever that really kicks your butt, and you have to like um but yeah, yes, grandson number 1 will be 2 in September. New guy is 2 weeks old. Yeah, back if you guys remember, Backgoat wasn't here a couple weeks ago because he was basically going to see his latest grandson. I mean, geographically. Let's see. I don't recall people getting this sick with a cold since, well, never. But what do I know? Just a retired paramedic. Oh, now um, and I know you guys haven't been on the last couple of days, so I don't know if you guys had heard yesterday that Gilbert Gottfried had passed away, and based on the description of what they said he had, it sounded like some kind of heart condition. They called it a ventricular um, myocardia or something like that. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but um, I'm sure you might have that because I know you're a paramedic. So, well, I haven't had a really, really bad cold for several years. Yeah, I will grant that maybe I've just forgotten what it's like. I've never had a cold this bad. Well, that goat, you're also a little older too. And then again, I'm a wimp. Yeah. Well, anyways, with all that being said, let's get back to the articles we're reading. All right. So, back to the article here. Charlemagne tapped comic book creator Kevin Graveau Marvel's New Warriors, DC Cyborg. Oh, so Kevin Graveau's the guy who gave us Snowflake and Safe Space as the writer for the new original graphic novel. Darkstorm will be released under Charlemagne's Black Privilege. Oh, God. Don't tell me this guy's another one of these SJW jerk offs. Which is an imprint of Simon and Schuster, featuring artwork by Ken Lashley. The novel focuses on the reluctant superhero who struggles with PTSD and is seen as an anti-hero at best by most of the public. Some interesting artwork here. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything. Each additional year makes us wimpier. We are immortal, blood of kings. Uh, got my first ambulance right about a month ago. Back at, okay, like you guys are talking about. All right. Well, I'm glad to see you guys conversing. Proves for an active chat there. Anyways, continuing on with the article here. Quote, when you get the opportunity to work on some great characters, you jump at the chance, unquote, Ashley said. Quote, I am drawn to strong characters of color, and there are not many in mainstream comics, but Darkstorm is just that. It's also created by Kevin Graveau, who is a very talented writer and created another powerful character in the Blue Marvel. Um, so it's a win-win. Very exciting, unquote. Charlemagne and Graveau have also partnered with AWA Studios to develop a new series called The Vindicators, which features a diverse superhero team with the quote uber realistic origin basis that is relatable even against the backdrop of a dystopian future, unquote. Oh boy, I wonder what that is. AWA Studios CEO Bill Jemas commented, quote, Charlemagne, that the god, or that god, whatever his name is one of the most compelling voices in culture today. His passion for comics was abundantly clear when we met him. But what truly blew us away was his handle on comic storytelling. We look forward to working with and bringing his amazing concepts and visions to life, starting with Vindicators, unquote. Well, also to be fair, though, and I did kind of make a snide comment about the whole SJW stuff, but at least he's creating a new character. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel, as it were, and take an already established character to fit the mold of whatever he thinks. So I can give him props for that, at least. Not doing what like a lot of people at DC and Marvel are doing, just taking established characters and yeah. So, anyways, as we continue on with the article here, quote: "If you know anything about me, then you know how much I love comics." Unquote. Charlemagne said, "I'm the guy who got Wolverine holding a microphone tattooed on his arm when he was 17 because my love of comics." Oh, okay. Partnering with Kevin Graveau to present this new universe filled with black and brown god level superheroes is a dream come true. a lot of black superheroes I loved growing up were street level, and that's cool. But I want to see Omega level superheroes that look like me and people around me, and that's exactly what we are giving you with Darkster. Um, dude, having doesn't okay, Charlemagne. Does the name John Stewart mean anything to you? Oh boy, John Stewart's a god level black superhero, and the Vindicators. I am blessed and excited to continue the important work with my Black Privilege imprint on Simon and Schuster and begin partnerships with comic book veterans like Bill Jemas, AWA co-founder Axel Alonso, and whole team at AWA Studios. Um, it's collaborations like this that help to build an empire, and I'm grateful to have found good ones. At the very least, they're creating new characters to get their point across. They're not at least trying to change older characters, and I'm glad to see that at least. Um, so anyway, let's see. Quote: I feel blessed to be working with a guy that is as successful as Charlemagne, a one of a kind cultural icon with global reach. Graveau added, quote, he also has an incredible genre IQ for science fiction, comics, and fantasy. So I truly believe that he is the absolute perfect partner for these ventures. The world's really not ready for what we have in store. Unquote. Release dates for Darkstorm and the Vindicators have not yet been announced. So it's DK. Okay, so done with that one. And things do seem to be getting a little dim in here, so I'm going to need to turn on my room light, I believe. I think I got one more comics article to go through before we turn right here. And this one sounds like a pretty cool article. Anyways, I'm going to just briefly step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. As I said, just had to turn on the light there. Uh, you got the tattoo. We must respect. We need more first superheroes. More fat super. Well, okay, I don't. It's not. I think in this case, this guy wasn't writing a fat superhero as a black superhero. We have to watch. Wish I could hit the 420 music year. Laugh out loud. You right. All right. So, anyways, well, we're now just getting past the 1 hour mark. So, I do thank you guys for all the likes and shares. Um, let's move on to the next article here, the last comics related article before we the anime and wrestling stuff. All right, Strangers in Paradise's Terry Moore offers his entire library at a bargain price for charity. Strangers in Paradise creator Terry Moore is offering his entire collection of work for low prices to raise money for the Hero Initiative. Article by Brendan Schur, published 4 hours ago. So I guess these are some of Terry Moore's collections, including, let's see, Strangers in Paradise, Echo, Rachel Rising, The Shadow of Death. Oh, let's take a look at this. Strangers in Paradise creator and Eisner Award winning Terry Moore is offering his entire collection of work to fans for a huge discount price to raise money for the Hero Initiative. Moore took to Twitter to announce he's offering his entire catalog work, which is valued at $717, for an incredibly low price to raise money for charity. Those interested in purchasing the entire collection can pay at least $30 for a 45 item bundle of Moore's titles. Other options include 29 item bundle at least for at least $18, a 14 item bundle for at least $10, and a 3 item bundle for at least $1. Um, all bundles come with the option to pay more, which gives extra money to publishers Humble and the Hero Initiative. All right. Quote, update. If you purchase my entire catalog for $30, you've helped raise over $9,000 for Hero Initiative to help comic creators in need. Moore posted on April 12th, which was yesterday, quote, you did that and you have all our love and respect for helping such a worthy cause. 16 days left, unquote. As of April 13th today, Moore raised over 9,900. So he's getting closer to the 10,000 mark there, it looks like, for the cause. Maybe by now, maybe as we speak, he's up to 10,000, or probably by tomorrow morning, he'll be up to 10,000. The Hero Initiative is a federally chartered, not for profit organization founded in 2000. The charity is strictly dedicated to helping comic book creators in need by offering them a financial safety net for emergency medical aid and other essentials for life. Since its creation, the Hero Initiative has granted over $1 million to those working in the industry. Recently, the Hero Initiative put out a limited JLA Avengers crossover reprint in honor of artist George Perez, who is a founding member of the group. As you guys remember, George Perez was diagnosed with um, cancer earlier this year, and he's basically, I think they told him he's got like a year left to live. Titles in the 45 item bundle include Strangers in Paradise, Echo, Rachel Rising, and more. Moore initially debuted Strangers in Paradise, which he wrote and drew in 1993. The series began as a slice of life series, following a group of friends trying to figure out their love lives. It continued to evolve and cross into other genres over the years as the initial series played out into 2007. In 1996, Strangers in Paradise won the Eisner Award for Best Serialized Story. Echo, which launched in 2008, follows a young photographer named Julie who discovers a technology powered battlesuit that changes her life forever. Rachel Rising, followed in 2011, sees a woman named Rachel Beck attempt to solve her own murder from beyond the grave. Wow, that theme seems to be coming up a lot lately. Wasn't there another story or another comic we were just talking about recently that was also happening? Well, let's see. I know that there was the one story in the Guy Gardner story that kind of had something like that involved in that story. For more information or to purchase Moore's collection, visit Humble Bundle. The bundle offers end April 28th, which would be 2 weeks from tomorrow. So there we go with that one. Ah, boo, totes jealous. Ah, anyways, yeah, baby. Anyways, move on to the anime, and we got 3 anime stories to go over. All right, so here's the first one we're gonna go over here. The Nick show. Hmm. Well, I know Nick is also. I think what I heard, everybody seems to be covering the whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp's case this week. So that seems to be the big story for most people. Anyways, let's get into this article here. Right. So, why is it so hard to market magical girl anime in the US? Despite being such a popular genre, why do so few magical girl anime break into the mainstream of the Western market? I have a feeling I know where this article is going to probably. Um, just we'll wait and see. Article by Paige via Viasian, published 15 hours ago. But Sailor Moon being considered probably the most popular of the magical girl animes. There's also, of course, Cruella, Magi, Madoka Magica, and a few others out there. So the magical girl genre has long since become one of the many staples associated with anime. So much so that it's frequently parodied not just by other anime, but by Western cartoons as well. Despite this, very few magical girl series, Card Kappa Sakura is another one I can think of, have actually broken through the mainstream. Certainly isn't because the industry has been producing less magical girl anime, but rather Western publishers seem to be averse to localizing most of them. And I can kind of understand what their issue is, particularly if you've seen some of the transformation sequences, particularly in Sailor Moon. I think that's this is a problem that's perpetuated not just in anime, but the animation industry as a whole for many years. Shows with a male demographic will almost always receive preference over those targeted at girls, that's partly true too. The few that are made with a female demographic in mind tend to go out of their way to appeal to a male audience as well, a la fan service. That's probably what they're talking about right there. Such as changing the title to give less focus on the female protagonist, changing Miraculous Ladybug to The Adventures of Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir, or elevating a male character to a secondary protagonist position, which is kind of a complaint Colleen Klingenbeard kind of had recently about anime. Again, wasn't totally, I think was totally true. One of the best known anime that takes the above practice to heart is Card Captor Sakura. When it was first released in English in the West, the title was changed to Card Captors. This rename accomplished two things. It put less focus on the female protagonist, and it gave more importance to a male character. In the original series, Sakura is the only character to receive the title of quote unquote card captor. In Nelvana's English dub, it isn't just Sakura who receives this title, but Shaoran, renamed Lee in the dub, as well. Yeah, the Nelvana, which I believe they may have used some of Ocean Studios um, VAs. I think Kelly Sheridan, Nicole Oliver were a couple who were in it. Let's see. I know Richard Newman was in it as well. So those are all, even though it was Nelvana who produced it, those were VAs from Vancouver. Lee is also elevated from supporting character to co-protagonist status, again to appeal to the male demographic. His romance with Sakura is completely scrapped, and any episodes that focused on the series, more slice of life aspects, were completely removed in favor of more action based storylines. In short, Nelvana repackaged its classic shoujo anime into a shonen series with a female lead. Yes and no. That is what they did, but it goes. I think it goes a little deeper than that too. And if anything, it also made it more into like a kids show, by focusing it on being a shonen as opposed to shoujo show. Um, as they said, they kind of scrapped the whole romance aspect of it um, out of it. And of course, Shaoran and Sakura you can see in other animes, to other clamp titles like Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Um, the Mokina is in that. Mokina is also in Magic Knight Rayearth and Holic. So, anyways, every few years, popular children's anime geared toward boys will receive a new intention featuring an entirely new cast. Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Beyblade are some of the more popular ones that come to mind. Many of these have made their way to broadcast networks in the West. In fact, the latest iteration of Beyblade is currently airing on Disney XD. The same treatment has been given to many popular children's anime aimed at girls as well, ranging from magical girl anime to idol anime. Yeah, I mean, again, Cardcaptor Sakura is one example. Sailor Moon could be considered another example, and that was done by Deke originally. Not the Viz dub, mind you, but the Deke dub definitely kind of kidified it a bit. However, most of these long-running franchises have never made their way to Western television sets. Sailor Moon did. Oh yeah, this is some Pretty Cure right here. That one was a cute one too. But that one actually, let's see. It would be understandable if such programs were not successful. Many of these have proved popular enough to continue running for several decades. One prime example is Pretty Cure, a long-running magical girl anime that has been around for over 20 years. It's one of Toei Animation's most popular properties, rivaling even Sailor Moon in terms of cultural impact in its home country. Despite its massive success, only two of the series within this storied franchise have been picked up for English localization. And I know those were shown more up in Canada. I think they were kind of shown in the States, but let's see. At one point, I just decided that they were ragging on that poor guy with the two colored beard too much. Enough was enough, and I got tired of seeing the horse beat. Yeah, something, Woody. I kind of feel the same way about that kind of situation. Nick's not the only one who does that either. There are a number of YouTubers who seem to do that very thing. They seem to just they don't even try to inform or They don't even try to inform or do any like real news. It's all about let's see which YouTuber we can dump on tonight. You know, I'm not really a big fan of that idea either. So I'm kind of with you on that. The original series, Futari wa Pretty Cure, was picked up by several companies, including Funimation, 4Kids, and YTV. Only YTV has ever broadcast the show on television. But because it is a Canadian broadcasting channel, this means Futari wa Pretty Cure was never shown in the US. Mhm. It is, however, still available for streaming on Prime Video and Hulu. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I don't, as I recall, I don't remember it being. Yeah, I've watched it before, but I've watched it streamed. So, um, Doki Doki Pretty Cure was picked up by Hasbro and dubbed by Bang Zoom Entertainment. Bang Zoom is, of course, based out here in LA. It was renamed to the slightly more aggressive Glitter Force and is currently available for streaming on Netflix. Like most children's anime from the early 2000s, the story was heavily cut and edited, so they bowderized it like they bowderized Gatchaman, the Battle of the Planets, and edited to remove any explicit references to Japanese culture, as well as material deemed too quote unquote mature for its target audience, such as references to death. As of this, and they did that with Sailor Moon, they did that with Gatchaman. They've done that a number of times over the years. As of this writing, this was the last Pretty Cure anime to be officially dubbed in English. While Crunchyroll has started streaming the newer entries in the franchise, no other companies have made any attempts to dub or market it to the Western audience. Not sure what that's. Well, now for those of you who don't know, chojo anime is the word chojo, I believe, means like girl, or basically a chojo anime is an anime that's directed towards girls. While chojo anime have not had as much trouble finding an audience in the West, one would be hard pressed to find such shows airing on network television. Toonami has aired a few female led shows in the past, but none were explicitly made with a female audience in mind. After the success of Sailor Moon, 4Kids made a few attempts to tap into the magical girl market by picking up Tokyo Mew Mew, or Mew Mew Power as it's known in the West. That one's a pretty good one too. It found some level of success, but not nearly to the same degree as Sailor Moon. A further attempt was made yet another Toei animation property, um, Oja Majo Doremi. Yeah. Oja Majo Doremi. Oh, I remember what this one is, which predictably received a new westernized name, Magical Do Re Mi. I remember that one. That one's kind of good too. It proved even less successful and suffered from consistently low ratings. 4Kids never finished airing the entire series, with the last 25 episodes going straight to the network's website instead. 4Kids also gained the rights to Futari wa Pretty Cure, but it never released any episodes before the series was eventually picked up by another distributor. The failure of such anime can be attributed to a number of things, none of which can be faulted to the shows themselves, but rather mismanagement on the part of the companies distributing them. Yeah, well, big part of the problem here is they were trying to edit these anime to where they could put it on for a younger audience. A lot of shoujo anime are more targeted towards girls who are like middle school to high school. But yet, if you're going to put something on Saturday morning, well, Saturday morning, of course, is a time that elementary school age kids are watching TV. And some of the stuff you would see in some of these shoujo anime and some of these like female led anime would just not fly with a lot of parents. Some of these transformation scenes where you do see, you know, where you actually do see body parts, okay, just would not fly. If I could just see a mother coming into the living room and seeing her 7-year-old daughter sitting there watching an unedited Sailor Moon and like going, "Oh my God, what in the world? Got to turn that off. I don't want my 7-year-old seeing that." Uh Anyways, Magical Do Re aired at 7:30, too early in the morning for most kids to want to tune in on a Saturday. Which is kind of true. Again, most of the kids who are up at that time are real young ones who are like get up for Saturday morning cartoons. Like, and magical, as I said, a lot of chojo anime are usually supposed to be marketed towards girls who are like middle school to high school. That's usually what their material is. Hopefully, everybody's still here, even though YouTube's saying I have one viewer, and StreamYard's now saying I have one viewer. So hopefully, you guys are still here with me. Anyways, moving on with the article here. Card captors received heavy backlash from fans of the original source material. When Pioneer gained the rights to distribute the original series on home video, completely unedited and uncut in the original Japanese dub, the sub only DVDs outside the dub only DVDs. Oh, wait. Uh, okay. Okay. Completely unedited and uncut in the original Japanese dub, the sub only DVDs outsold the dub only DVDs by more than 10,000 units. Likewise, many longtime Pretty Cure fans responded negatively to Hasbro's decisions to edit and westernize the English dub for Glitter Force, a practice that in this day and age is no longer considered acceptable. Even the English dubs for the likes of Beyblade keep the original Japanese names and references intact. Yeah, there's been a lot of local. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho had some of the same edits. There's been a lot of criticisms of localizations over the years. Um, let's see. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever see. It truly is a shame that more companies aren't willing to put more time and interest in anime aimed at young girls. If they would simply put the same amount of effort into marketing such shows the way they do with Bakugan or Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is an anime that actually is directed towards kids. Okay, that one direct. You don't really. Yeah, you do have some romantic undertones, and you have Brock, you know, going girl crazy, but it's still shown from a child's point of view. There's definite success to be had. There's a plethora of magical girl and shoujo anime that will never be exported as a result. For now, Magic Girl aficionados will have to be content with streaming the latest iteration of Pretty Cure Sub. Now there are some magical girl anime that did get dubbed. They just weren't shown on and unedited dubbed, like Puella Puella Magi Madoka Magica is one that comes to mind. Let's see, what's another one? I can't think of any others at the moment here, but well, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them get dubbed into English and then sold directly through the DVD sales or streaming sites. They don't get a net. They usually don't get a network. I mean, now it's kind of funny because now you have Toonami, right? Toonami on late Saturday nights, and they could throw in some magical girl anime in there if they chose to. You know, I think there are some magical girl anime out there unedited, like Sailor Moon, that could actually do well on Toonami. Granted, it's a late night program, mind you. So chances of it receiving high viewership would be a little more sketchy. But yeah, right. So we got two people again. But anyway, so that's that one. Let's see, where are we at on time here? Oh, we're already at an hour and a half. Should be able to get through the next couple articles here real quick, and then, anyways, let's. And I did have a lot to say on that article because I've of course have watched some of those before. Let's see. Moving on to the next article here that I want to get to. This one should be pretty quick as well because it Future Diary: How to Get Started with the Anime and Manga. Future Diary focuses on a group of 12 individuals fighting to the bitter end to become the god of space and time. Article by Timothy Donahue, published 11 hours ago. All right, so although it came out years ago, Future Diary is still considered one of the best and most fun battle royal themed anime and manga franchises, centered around a race to godhood. The series has taken quite a few forms, had just as many spin offs. This has allowed it to retain its popularity even over 10 years after the original manga ended, with streaming no doubt helping the anime. Future Diary features several important characters, all of whom have their own backstories and reasons for fighting for the rank of deity. Many of the franchise's forms have been brought over to the West, while others are sadly much harder to come by. Here's what readers and viewers for a new Battle Royale style series should know about Future Diary. The main character of Future Diary is Yukitaro Amano, a rather socially distant teenager who keeps to himself and records what he sees from others on his phone. One of his only true friends is none other than Doek Makina, the god that controls time and space. Oh, so your only friend in the world is the master of time and space. That's got to be interesting. Ah, Doek Makina transforms Amano's phone into a quote unquote future diary that allows him to see into the future for up to 90 days. Unfortunately, he's not the only one with such a newfound power. Oh yeah, this has also some of the elements of Law of Ueki too. The idea of a battle royal, try to figure out who will become the next god or what have you. There are 11 other people who also have future diaries, and they must now all compete to see who will replace Doex Machina as the god of time and space. Protecting Amano is the Yandere stalker Yuno Gasai, who will do anything to keep him out of harm's way. Other competitors in this new battle royale include a terrorist who hates God, as well as an ordinary cop who wishes to end Doex Machina's game. Given that it involves a battle for godhood, several similarities could be drawn between Future Diary and more recent hit series Platinum End, with the protagonist of the latter even having the last name Mirai, literally future. And of course, they said another example also is um, the Law of Ueki. Where to read the Future Diary manga? Future Diary was created by Sakai Isuno and serialized in the magazine Shonen Ace from 2006 to 2010. This amounted to 12 collected volumes, although sadly, not all of these have been brought over to the West. Tokyo Pop initially handled the series in the West, but only localized 10 of the 12 volumes, with the last of these releasing in 2011. Viz Media has handled the series after Tokyo Pop ceased traditional publications, although it only released the series digitally. This is the best way to read the manga, as even physical retailers such as Barnes& and Nobles no longer carry the physical versions of Future Diary. Instead, those interested in reading the series should consider purchasing these volumes through Kindle and Comixology. Spin-offs such as Future Diary Mosaic have also been localized outside of Japan. Where to watch the Future Diary anime? Okay. And I have some additional, which will be part of AEW coverage here. So, all right. Well, anyways, where to watch Future Diary anime? As Read was the studio behind the anime version of Future Diary, which ran for 26 episodes from 2011 to 2012. The series was localized by Funimation, although it's also available to stream through both Funimation's new sister service, Crunchyroll, and Hulu. The OVA Future Diary Redial serves as an epilogue to the story with a manga of the same name. Doing so for the original book, 2012 also saw the release of Future Diary Another World, a 12-episode live action adaptation that remixed the premise with entirely new characters. However, this isn't currently available on any Western streaming service and has been kept in Japan. Walmart, Target, Amazon, Right Stuff International all carry the Blu-ray collection of the Future Diary anime. This contains not only the entirety of the show, but also the OVA epilogue redial. For those without any of the aforementioned streaming services, this is probably the easiest way to watch the series. All right, so there we go with that one. We have one last article to read through before we start to wrap up. Oh, here we go. What is the longest running anime series? This one was a interesting one that I kind of caught wind of. All right, so the what is the longest running anime series? The longest running anime series is one most American viewers have never heard of, despite airing for more than 5 decades and 77,800 episodes. My guess is because it was never localized in America, is what I'm guessing. Never localized in the West. Article by Mark York, published 9 hours ago. 5 decades, which would probably put it back in the 70s. It's probably started back in the 70s, most likely. When talking about the longest running anime, a lot of fans might assume the series like One Piece or Pokemon. After all, each of them boasts more than 1,000 episodes, which puts even The Simpsons to shame. However, a far lesser known anime holds the title. In fact, it's not even close. The longest running anime is actually Sazu-san, um, or Sazai-san, which has likely escaped the attention of most North American fans despite the series airing for more than 5 decades and counting. Longest running anime series is Sazai-chan. Look at that. That does look like older style animation. All right, so Sazai-san began in April 1946. That's like 76 years ago as a four-panel comic strip, Yonkoma, which I believe that Yonkoma might be the Japanese word for comic strip, by pioneering female mangaka Machiko Hasegawa. It debuted in her local newspaper, Fukumichi Shinbun, before being picked up 3 years later by Asahi Shinbun, where it continued until 1974, which of course would be 48 years ago. The Yonkoma ran for about 6,500 strips. The series was adapted as an anime series beginning in 1969. So as I thought, I knew it was probably like late 60s, early 70s. Has been running on so 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. So it's been running more like for 7 decades. 7 decades. Across 7 decades there. Running on Japanese television ever since. Anime airs 3 8-minute episodes each week, which contributes to its staggering episode count. Currently, Sazai-chan clocks in at a whopping 7,881 episodes. So if they're counting each little segment as an episode, then yeah. But in terms of actual shows, 7,881, if there are 3 segments per show, let's see, 2,000, so that's 2,627 shows. If you're counting each segment as an episode, that means that the number of actual shows produced, the full 3 episodes, it's 2,667 or 2,627. That's a lot of production work there. But that number continues to increase. Not only is Sazai-san the longest running anime, but it's also the longest running animated series of all time, period. That's an accomplishment acknowledged in 2013 by the Guinness Book of World Records. So it's even well, again, of course, Looney Tunes stopped. There are periods where Looney Tunes stopped producing series and all that. So um, now you just have reruns run. I think longest running in terms of new episodes. It's an achievement that scripted television probably won't surpass anytime soon, especially as long as it keeps going. But you have to kind of wonder after doing this for through parts of 7 decades here. First off, are the original people even involved? Because I'm sure there's been some changeover over the years, in terms of because let's say that a lot of the cast were like in their 20s, um, back in 1969. They'd be in their 70s now if they're still doing it. And you got to know that a lot of them probably are retired or in the process of retiring. They probably had to replace people over the years. And you run something that long. Huh. Biff Berg. All right. It's a bork. I like that 1946 style. It looked like something I could handle. My has drawn many laughs from with. So nice to see people talk. Nice to see people talk. All right. Anyways. All right. So getting back to the article here. What is Sazai-chan? Animation style. Sazai-san follows the daily life of Sazai Fugata, a mid-20s homemaker, and her loving family: her husband, her parents, her son, her younger siblings, and a pet cat. Now that's Japan for you. You have multiple generations living in one house. Sazai-san was meant to embody what Hasegawa Sensei hoped the traditional Japanese family become following World War II. To that end, Sazai herself was more interested in horseback riding than doing what was expected for women of the era to attract a husband. When she finally did get married, she tended to boss her husband around, which the neighbors found as unorthodox, to say the least. Sazai-san is also known for never aging its characters, even as years, kind of like The Simpsons, right? Even as years go by in the series, the characters remain unchanged. Other animated series do this too, but for as long as Sazai-san has been on the air, it's a little more noticeable. The trope, the logic, and the anime are all often referenced in Gintama to explain why its own characters never age under similar circumstances. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because even though a lot of our entertainment is meant to be more escapist, you know, you see this and you see like how they might try to incorporate what's going on in the modern world, um, into a setting where people are like stuck in a particular time frame. Zai-san is a simple slice-of-life comedy, but its depiction of Japanese life from its time period has triggered nostalgia and garnered praise from Japanese audiences. Now, a few other, of course, Zai-san is long, and of course they mentioned One Piece and Pokemon as well. But you also have others that have lasted a pretty long time. Let's see. I know that Detective Conan, which we know here in the States is case closed, is still, as far as I know, that one's still running in Japan to this day. Yeah, I think that one's still running in Japan today. Let's see. I don't know if it's still running as well, but I think Crayon Shinchan might still be running as well. So that'd be kind of interesting. And the animation there kind of reminds me of Crayon Shinchan as well. Even though Crayon Shinchan came out in the early 90s, I believe. Let's see. It represents an antiquated yet progressive viewpoint from a bygone era before the social changes brought about by modern technology. As such, it has remained a high rated program. Yeah, I mean, probably one of the most, based on its description here, probably one of the best escape type entertainment programs out there. You know, what is the second longest running anime? Second longest running anime is Nintama Rantaro. Airing since 1993, the series boasts an impressive 2,321 episodes and counting. That is also leagues ahead of One Piece and Pokemon, but far behind Suzai-san's nigh insurmountable 7,881 episodes. Now, mind you, though, again, for all we know, this particular, in terms of episodes here, it may be one episode for the full, like 24 minutes, as opposed to the ones down here where it's like 3 episodes per like half hour per time slot. So. The series follows the daily lives of Rantaro and his classmates as they learn to become ninjas. If Naruto had put more focus on the titular character's Ninja Academy days, it might have looked something like this. Of course, Nintama Rantaro is aimed at little kids, so the series will never go as dark as Naruto does. Alrighty then, that's that. So we've got through all the red articles. Do have some wrestling news to go over here a bit before we start to close out. We may actually even end up running a little long tonight because we had some good commentary stuff there. I felt for some of that. All right, so in WWE news, let's see. So with WWE WrestleMania Backlash coming up at the end of the month here, there's already 3 matches and signed. Two of them title matches. For I think the SmackDown Women's title, it's a rematch from WWE from WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair will defend the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey, this time in an I Quit match. And you also will have, as I mentioned earlier, Bianca Belair has been signed to face Sonya Deville for the Raw Women's title on at WrestleMania Backlash. And then I think another rematch from WrestleMania, Cody versus Seth Rollins, is also on tap for that. And something I didn't mention yesterday, so Tammy Sitch, who many of you might remember as Sunny in the WWE, she's had some legal issues of late. She was actually involved. She right now seems to be not in prison, but she was involved in a crash that did kill a 75-year-old man. She's had some legal troubles over the years, primarily with DUIs and stuff. So that drama is all playing out. So that's all of the WWE news there. On the AEW side of it, tonight's AEW Dynamite had a couple title matches going on, as well as some other interesting matches. You had the tag. Let's see, the Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy were defending the AEW tag team titles against who was it? It was Red Dragon, the team comprised of Bobby Fish and Ryan O'Reilly. Also, in another title match, Samoa Joe got his first title match in AEW, and from what I just saw from one of my notifications, he apparently won that match. So Samoa Joe has won his first title in AEW. It was the ROH television title. Now, of course, it's not his first ROH title. He wrestled for Ring of Honor in the past, but this is his first title as a member of All Elite Wrestling. Also on tonight's episode of Dynamite, there were a few other matches going on. There was a trios match between three members of the newly christened Jericho Appreciation Society: Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, who some of you might remember as Jack Swagger from his time in the WWE, and Daniel Garcia taking on Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz. Let's see. MJF was going to be taking on Captain Sean Spears or Captain Sean Dean. And then I know there was a new female wrestler making her debut tonight, as well as CM Punk in action. So that's all of AEW's, and of course it's championship week for them this week, as on this Friday's edition of Rampage, AEW World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page will be defending the AEW title against Adam Cole in a Texas Death Match. And then this Saturday they have their Battle of the Belts event, which will actually be broadcast on TNT as well. One match already signed for that Battle of the Belts event is Thunder Rosa defending the AEW Women's title against Nyla Rose. Rosa versus Rose there. And of course, Nyla Rose is going to have Vicky Guerrero in her corner. And another piece of news, and I hope to get the information on that soon enough over the next few days. But Elijah Burke cashed in his championship opportunity with NWA to challenge Matt Cardona for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, which took place on last night's Power. Either when it airs on YouTube on Friday or before that, when I find out the results of that, I'll let you know. So essentially, that's and of course I get the signal icon. That's lovely. All right. Well, anyways, guys, it's time to start wrapping up as I've gotten through everything here. So today being Wednesday, April 13th, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! Alrighty then. So without no further ado, let's get to this day in each history. And the first stop we're going to go back 25 years ago today. As on this date, 25 years ago today, ECW's first pay-per-view took place on this date back in 1997. Barely Legal took place at the ECW arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was the first pay-per-view for Extreme Championship Wrestling. The main event saw Terry Funk defeat Raven for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Prior to that, of course, Terry Funk had defeated Sandman and Steven Richards in a three-way dance. You saw Taz defeat Sabu. Saw Shane Douglas retain the ECW Television Championship over Bulldog number 2. RVD defeated Rob Van Dam. The Eliminators defeated the Dudley Boys for the ECW World Tag Team Championship. And there you go. So there you go with that one. As I said, on this date 25 years ago today, ECW held its first pay-per-view, Barely Legal. And 1997, you guys haven't heard me say this in a while. 1997 it was so nice that we gotta hit it twice. As also on this date in 1997 on Fox, premiered the Simpsons episode The Canine Mutiny. The Canine Mutiny is the 20th episode of the 8th season of American animated television series The Simpsons. It originally aired on the Fox network in the United States on April 13th, 1998. So as ECW was having its first pay-per-view, The Simpsons was debuting this episode. It was written by Ron Hogg and directed by Dominique Poisino. Bart fraudulently applies for a credit card and uses it to buy an expensive trained dog called Laddie. It guest stars voice actor Frank Welker as Laddie, legendary Frank Welker. I'm sure we know many of his works, including Freddy from Scooby Doo. A number of characters from Transformers, including Megatron, Soundwave's cassettes, Trailbreaker, Mirage, just to name a few. A parody of Lassie, the episode's title references the novel The Kane Mutiny. So on this date, 25 years ago today, the Canine Mutiny episode of The Simpsons premiered on this date. So now, moving on to the next piece of history here. See now. On this date, 11 years ago today, the 710th episode of Superman went on sale. Yes, this is Volume 1 Superman. This is the Superman and it would run for 4 more issues after this. Volume 1, this is the same Superman comic that started all the way back in 1939. So the story was Grounded Part 8. It's 20 pages. Sold for $2.99. Which for 32 pages. Story was written by J. Michael Straczynski and Chris Robertson, penciled by Eddie Barrows and Travel Foreman, inked by J.P. Meyer and John Dell III, lettered by John J. Hill, and then colored by Rod Reese, and Dave McCaig or McCraig. So Superman and Batman, or before Superman and Batman. So on this date in 2011, 11 years ago today, 710th issue of Volume 1 of Superman went on sale on this date in 2011. All right, so one final piece of niche history before we head out. Let's see. On this date 10 years ago today, the following anime would premiere on Japanese television: Bones' Eureka 7 AO Astral Origin, Production IG's Shining Hearts Shiawase no Pan, and A1 Pictures Suratama. So on this date, 10 years ago today, Bones' Eureka 7 AO, Production IG's Shining Heart Shiawase no Pan, and A1 Pictures Suratama would all debut on this date in 2012. So with that being said, guys, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I thank everybody for likes and shares. Don't forget, of course, Fridays are our weekly historical comic retrospect, and Batgoat did confirm that he'll be here Friday. So that's good to know. We'll be, of course, looking at comics that went on sale in December 1938 from David McKay Publications and Fiction House. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night and Friday night. And until tomorrow, bye.